This week on Storytime at the Rubus, Sharla has a fun interview with some festival content creators. We have some fun stories about what's been happening around the house for us and with some friends. And also, we're going to talk about some of our top things of the year. So, Merry Christmas from me and Ricky. Let's get started.
Welcome to Storytime at the Rubus, a weekly podcast about Bonnaroo and other festivals. I'm your host, Sharla.
Well, Merry Christmas, everyone. It's Daniel. And as you can see, we've kind of swung the couch around a little bit this week, basically, because I just wanted you to see the Christmas tree over our shoulder here in our living room. I am a bit of a Clark Griswold sometimes. I like to go all out on Christmas. There was one time where I had a Christmas tree that was like all the way to the ceiling, kind of in the middle right there. But Sharla put a touch on it this year. You can kind of see the disco ball on top of it. That was pretty cool. That was a good idea.
Yeah, we found that at Target. It's super cool.
Yeah.
It's very Skylar coded.
Yeah. There's a couple of things in there that's very Skylar coded. I wanted to thank everyone for bearing with us. We took a week off last week. We've been very busy. We kind of needed a break, but man, we were really busy. There was a lot going on around here. Do you want to talk about some of that? We're always kind of transparent on this show.
So the bus did have to have both of the batteries replaced. Yeah. And the batteries were in there for about 5 or 6 years prior to that. It didn't take quite as long as Daniel expected as far as switching them out, but still just dealing with all that was such a headache.
Yeah, it was mainly troubleshooting it. I was a little afraid that there was something a little bit more electrical going on, maybe with the wiring, and I really didn't want to deal with that. And if I had to pay somebody to deal with that, it would not have been cheap. Putting 2 batteries in there was almost certainly a lot more cheaper than that. But anyways, I was able to swap them out, and she cranks right up instantly now. Not a problem. So I have to clean it up. That thing is gross. I got to get a power washer a hold of it before June comes around.
Well,
but
clearly, yeah.
I guess officially the road to Bonnaroo has started now that I've, gotten the big repair for the year out of the way. I've been slowly starting to tidy up a little bit more in there. I think there's a couple of things in the back we need to just get rid of. There's a storage area underneath the king bed in the back. There's a lot of stuff down there that's like old. I don't think we need.
There's a lot of stuff that people have donated to us at the end of Bonnaroo. Yeah. Like, oh, you want to take this? And of course, me being the junk person that I am, I'm like, yeah. I got a whole bunch.
This ain't Tippy Taylor's, man. Long inside joke. But yeah, I'll tell you one thing. We haven't even talked about this. I'll talk about it on the show. I don't care. There's this big inflatable mattress thing back there that somebody, quote unquote, donated last year.
They asked me if I wanted it.
I can't deflate it. It's so big back there. It takes up so much room in the storage area. We got to figure out something to do with that thing. I thought about taking it down to Halloween, but I couldn't deflate it back to take it down there and have it available for somebody. It would have taken up the whole back of your Subaru. We got to figure that out.
Yeah, we will.
We'll talk about that when we're not on the show, I suppose. But yeah, we had a lot going on last week. We had to fix some plumbing issues. Long story short, weeds got in our drain pipe, so I had to take care of that.
It wasn't weeds. Roots got in the drain pipe underneath the washing machine.
Weeds. Yeah, I guess it's good that you clarified that. I wasn't talking about the other kind of weed, I promise. But no, roots from the nearby trees. If you've been to our house before, we're kind of like at the bottom of a cul-de-sac, and there's a lot of tall trees. Things they don't necessarily put in a homeowner's handbook. So, pro tip, if you are a homeowner or intend to be one day, yeah, twice a year you might want to flush down this like $15 chemical pack down the drain to take care of that problem ahead of time. I'm grateful it wasn't worse than it was, and the repair only cost about $50 as opposed to like, I don't even want to think about it.
Well, actually, the first plumber did tell us that we may have to rip up the entire floor and the wall and everything else.
No, fam.
We were going to have to like rip out half of our house because our washing machine is like in the middle, and nope.
Not doing that.
I was so scared.
But thankfully, a much cheaper option took care of it for now. So talk with me about that offline if you need some pro tips on that. We also did a bit of our Christmas this past week because things have been so crazy with office Christmas parties, and we got family things to go to this coming week.
We did. You got me a state shot glass holder.
I think that one was a bit of a hit, wasn't it?
Yes, I collect shot glasses, and he got me one where you can put in for each state. It's really cool.
Yeah, I'll put that on video. She was in desperate need of that. We had a party here right before South Star, 2 years ago, a year and a half, whatever it was now. And our friend David from here in town in Huntsville was needing a shot glass because, it's a party. People had drinks. Talk about that in a second. And he opened up the cabinet, and it's just stacks and stacks and stacks of shot glasses. And he's just like, what the hell? I've never seen this many. So yes, you needed that bad.
We decided that I needed it when, well, I still didn't know he was going to get it. It was still a surprise, but I think he decided that I needed it because
Yes.
a couple of weeks ago I went to get something
I
out there,
forgot about that.
and like 4 shot glasses just fell out. Like the whole thing started falling out on me, and I lost one of my favorite ones.
Which one?
I can outdrink all you bitches in Panama City. Me and Brooklyn got that. I got that when I was with Brooklyn.
Well, we'll have to go back down there and get another one then. But yeah, I'll show that on video. Also, shout out to Sharla. She got me a lot of cool stuff. She got me a new iPad. I need that desperately because I travel so much. But also, she got me a nice little drink. I got this old fashioned here that I'm drinking tonight. It was a pre-mix thing, which are usually sometimes okay, but not the best. They make one in a jug over at Costco that I had taken to Rue. I took it and donated it to the monkey bar. It's all right. It's all right. But man, this bullet stuff you gave me, this hits the spot.
That's because Bullet is good. It's a little higher quality than what you
Take you a little
normally
snoot of
get.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, she also got me some Japanese stuff. I'm going to save for special occasions or when we have company over at the house. See?
That's good. I don't
That
like
is
old
good.
fashions, but that's good.
Well, guess what? I do. That's my favorite. That's my go-to. All right, so me and Sharla aren't going to fool around too much this week. She had a fun interview. I came in the door at the tail end of it when you were recording, so I've heard a little bit, and I heard a little bit when I was, editing for you a little bit ahead of time. But tell me what you got here for us tonight.
So I had an interview with 2 festival content creators, and they're both very active on TikTok. You may know them as Festy, Bestie, Becky, and then there's also Becca Rubian. So Becky and Becca, I interviewed them about creating content for festivals, creating content for Bonnaroo, and also some really good tips and tricks for first-timers going to Roo.
All right, so we won't even give it any further ado. We'll go ahead and jump into that here in just a second. And when we come back, me and Sharla have a little bit more. I think we have made a list of some of our favorite things of 2025 now
We
that
have,
the year
yes.
is ending.
Mhm.
So let's go ahead and talk with those ladies, and we'll be right back in a moment.
Okay, hey everyone. We are here with Becca and Becky. Both of them are festival and Bonnaroo content creators. And we're going to talk a little bit today about not only festival content creation, but also some Bonnaroo do's, don'ts, some first-timer tips, all kinds of good stuff. So first of all, I wanted you guys to introduce yourselves because we have a lot of new people joining us, a lot of people who don't use TikTok, don't use Instagram. So I really wanted you guys to introduce yourself, kind of get a feel for your Bonnaroo origin story, I should say. Why don't you go first, Becca?
Yeah, so I'm Becca. I am Becca Rubian on TikTok. I've been going to Rue since 2019. My origin story is I was a sophomore in college and my friend was like, hey, do you want to go to this music festival called Bonnaroo? I had no idea really about the festival or about the scene. And I was feeling very impulsive, I guess, because I was like, heck yeah, like, let's do it. A little deep, but my mother had passed less than a year before that. And so I was feeling like I wanted to do something big. And then I went, and it turned out that it saved my life and healed me. And I've gone every year since.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. I love that story because my mom passed away a few years ago. And it just like that resonation when you come back to like reality on the farm and stuff, it's so super cool.
It was,
So
I remember like looking up at the sky. It was surreal.
yeah. Becca, or Becky, what about you?
Hi, I'm Becky. I am at Festy Bestie Becky on TikTok. My Bonnaroo origin story, my parents were actually festival vendors. So I went to my first Bonnaroo when I was 8 years old. That unfortunately was the only one I went to as a kid, but I eventually got back into going to music festivals. I went to my first Bonnaroo as an adult in 2019, and it was just such an amazing experience. I'm lucky to have a really big friend group who is also really into going to music festivals. And after we went to our first Bonnaroo, we knew that this was going to be our core festival. We're going every year, and we have since. It's just such an amazing, experience, such a beautiful community to be a part of. Like, you are really entering a different world when you go to Bonnaroo, and I just love it so much. I started making Bonnaroo festival content last year. I started just by making my lineup prediction videos. I never really thought that I would get any bigger than that, but I've slowly grown, and it's built such an even more amazing community. It's such a great thing to be a part of.
Oh my gosh, that's such a cool story.
I love that you went at 8 years old. That's amazing. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
it was a very, very different time back then. Like me and my brother were like running around by ourselves basically at that festival, but it was an amazing experience, an amazing like childhood.
That's
Oh,
so
that's
fun.
so cool. Oh my gosh. So we'll go ahead and get started with some questions for you guys. I really want to hear from both of you on this one. So we'll start with Becca. What really inspired you to become like a festival content creator or a Bonnaroo content creator? What was the motivation behind that? Like, were you a content creator before, or is that something you just always wanted to get into? Or tell us the story about that.
Yeah, so I was a content creator before in 2020, 2021. I was really active. I had an activist political TikTok, and I loved doing that. It was super important work, educating the public and speaking about what you're passionate about. But then I started my career and I couldn't really make the same content that I used to. And this past year, like Becky, is when I started this Bonnaroo TikTok. And before I started it, I just kept thinking, I really want to get back into content creation, but I don't know what. And then I asked myself, what am I passionate about? What makes me happy? And what could I talk about forever? And of course, I landed on Bonnaroo. And it's just been so amazing. As Becky said, this community is incredible. And that's why I wanted to start this TikTok, not only to grow my community, but also to educate new Bonnaroovians and share tips and tricks and just really show and spread love and radiate that positivity as we all do.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. Like, I completely understand about not being able to post like the content that you really want to post. This year, even like I had, some political stuff, not even anything that bad, but just some political stuff. And I was like, nope, got to take that down. I don't want my employers like never. So Becky, what really inspired you to become a Bonnaroo content creator?
So I didn't post content at all before I started posting my Bonnaroo content. I was honestly really scared of it, but luckily I had a friend who kind of pushed me to start posting, and thank God she did. I actually had just gotten my degree in museum studies, and I've always wanted to kind of merge like my love of music festivals and my love of museums into something kind of tangible, like a Bonnaroo museum or something like that. But I really didn't know where to start with any of that. So I was like, okay, I think that if I can, get a following on social media and kind of be involved in the community that way, it will be a great way to kind of form connections and then work from there. And that honestly has been working out great so far. But I also love, connecting with people through social media, giving tips and tricks and prepping people for the festival. It is very like satisfying and rewarding to know that like people are prepped for this festival like because of me, and it's been very nice.
So do you think social media, TikTok especially, but social media in general, do you think that's really changed the perception of festivals?
I think that it's honestly made festivals a lot more accessible. I think that camping festivals specifically are really scary. Like, it's such a big commitment to go in and be camping for 4 days and, be in that environment. And I think that social media has kind of made it more accessible. People know what to expect and how to prepare for it. And I think that it's honestly very helpful.
Oh, yes, I agree. I agree so much. Now, Becca, question for you. Um, where do you really draw the line between being a Bonnaroo content creator and just a Bonnaroo fan, just some random person attending a festival?
I draw a pretty strict line, and I did that when I first started. I always, kind of like I mentioned before, I always wanted my TikTok to be more educational and community growing rather than an actual festival content creator. When I go to Bonnaroo, I want to be a Bonnaroovian. I might plan like one or two outfit TikToks or like touring my campsite, but I never, like I said, I draw a pretty strict line of separating the two because Bonnaroo is my home and my safe space and all of that. And I really want to keep it that way.
Oh, I absolutely agree. And it's so hard once you're there, once you're on the farm. Oh my God, it's just hard. Like, cause time goes by so fast and it's like, oh, I want to take this video or I want to take that video or talk to this person. And it ends up never happening.
Yeah.
And
When I record at Bonnaroo, it's more of like a spontaneous, like I want to capture this moment
Yes.
rather than I want to make a TikTok out of this, if that makes sense.
Exactly. You're there for the festival. You're not there to like make content. That's my big thing. It's like I'm here in the moment. I'm not going to take myself out by like recording something.
One of you, I can't remember which one it was. I think it may have been you, Becky, but I can't remember. One of you posted a couple days ago about the biggest advice is plan for things to go wrong, or things can go wrong, or something like
Yeah.
that. And I was like, yep, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because anything that's going to go wrong is probably going to happen. And you just kind of have to go with the flow all the time.
Mhm.
So, Becky, how do you really handle like when you get negative comments? Because I know there was a lot of negative comments about the lineup this year. You know, there's been a lot of criticism about that. And of course, there was a lot of criticism about the cancellation. So, Becky, as a content creator, how do you handle things like that?
Honestly, for the most part, when I get kind of negative comments, I ignore them. Like, it's not my responsibility, in my opinion, to be fighting with these people in my comment sections. And honestly, for the most part, usually there's someone else that will start fighting for me because, you know, Bonnaroo is such a tight knit community. Like, there are always people in there ready to defend. But I mean, sometimes if it's like a genuine, like, you know, question or like, you know, about the cancellation and things like that, you know, like I'll interact sometimes, but for the most part, I'm like, you can comment, but I will ignore it for the most part.
Well, yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. So, this is really a question for both of you, I guess. Have either of you ever been recognized, like at a festival or at Bonnaroo? And when you are recognized, you feel pressure to like be on per se, or are you just like, no, I'm good?
I got recognized actually a lot at this past Bonnaroo. It was the first, I started recording videos last year, so it was my first Bonnaroo since recording videos. And I think because my hair is recognizable, people recognize me a lot, which was absolutely insane to me. But I didn't really feel any pressure because it was kind of just usually people being like, oh, you like helped me prep for this festival. And it was just like always a genuine connection with that person. And it honestly just made me so happy that people would stop me that like, yeah, I was like, this is just, it was always a positive experience.
Well, that's so awesome.
I have the exact same answer as Becky. This was my first Bonnaroo since posting content about Bonnaroo. And I also got recognized so much. I didn't even go thinking I would get recognized at all. It was not even in my mind. Some of my friends would like joke with me, like, oh my gosh, you're so famous. You're going to get recognized now. And I did. And it, like Becky said, it was so special. It was more like meeting a friend than like any kind of pressure, just like hugging them. And they would thank me for giving them tips and reminding them to bring their portable charger, you know, like it was just really special, truly.
Awesome. From your perspective, what is one of the biggest, or what are some of the biggest do's and don'ts for Bonnaroo, for new time Bonnarooians who've never been before?
This could be a 2-hour long answer. I'll start with the don'ts. I think one of the biggest is don't forget to drink water and eat throughout the day, all day. Don't forget that sleep is important. Even if it's just a few hours, you have to sleep to survive this festival. I know people want to stay up all night and party, and we do, but you also have to sleep and take care of your body. And then a really important one is do not consume anything unless you know exactly what it is or you test it. And always have harm reduction resources on you and all of that. That's really important to me and to say that here for new and veteran festival goers in general. And then do have the time of your life. Do expect the unexpected. I always say pick like 2 to 3 sets that are your priority for a day, but then just enjoy the rest of the day. I think it's so easy, at least my first time, I hopped all day long and I feel like I didn't enjoy the moment as much because I was just going from set to set to set and not going with the vibes, as they say. And so that's a big one for new time Rubians is just enjoy it, live in the moment, and explore Outeroo. That's a huge one. So many people forget to explore the plazas and spend time doing that, as I did my first year. And it's so important to do that because that's what makes Bonnaroo, you know.
Absolutely. So, Becky, is there something that you see new time Bonnarooians do every year that they shouldn't do or that they need to do? Or what is some mistake, I guess, that you see new Rubians making every year?
I think that one of the big things is people go way too hard on the first day. You're really excited to be there. You're back at Bonnaroo. You're excited, but pace yourself. Like, it is a marathon. It is not a sprint. Like, you do not want to get burnt out on the first day and then just have a miserable time for the rest of the festival. Like, just pace yourself and enjoy it.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect because we always see that one guy in Centeroo that's laid out on Thursday, or even in Outer Room nowadays, they'll be laid out on Tuesday or Wednesday. And I'm like, no. So this is really a question for both of you, but we'll start with Becca. How do you feel about Bonnaroo really leaning more into the influencer marketing this year? I know that they've used that in the past, but from what I'm seeing, from my perspective, it seems like they're really heavily using influencer marketing this year. So really, as a content creator, what's your take on that?
This might be a hot take. Some people might view me as a Bonnaroo influencer. And I really love this question because I just recently noticed it on my For You page, a bunch of sponsored Bonnaroo posts. And I understand why they're doing it, to target a younger demographic and to sell tickets. Where was I going with that? But I don't view Bonnaroo as an influencer festival. There are some festivals that I believe are an influencer festival. At least to me, like Coachella, of course, has that stereotype, right? That it's a famous person influencer festival. But Bonnaroo is so much different to me than that. And so I think this will help push the message out to people that it might not usually get to, but it might also give them the idea that that's what Bonnaroo is. And so I'll leave it there.
So Becky, how do you feel about them leaning into that influencer marketing?
Honestly, couldn't agree more with what Becca said. Like, that's exactly how I feel about it. I'd never seen any Bonnaroo sponsored posts until very recently. And seeing them, it's just kind of strange to me because, yeah, I don't think that Bonnaroo is really that type of festival. And the content that I have seen, it doesn't feel very genuine. And, like, I don't know if these, like, influencers have even ever been to Bonnaroo. So it is very interesting seeing that, and I am curious how Bonnaroo like picks, which influencers they have making their videos. Yeah, it's odd to me. I understand, that's how you're reaching the younger demographic and everything, but I think like the big question is, who is Bonnaroo for? And it's like, who are we trying to get in the door? And so yeah, it is interesting to me that they are relying heavier on influencer marketing.
Okay, so I completely agree with both of you, with everything that both of you said. And it's so interesting to hear that from you guys. And, I work in marketing as my career. The influencers that they're using seem so random to me. Like, it doesn't seem like they've gone to Bonnaroo before. I know, and this is not a knock at anyone or anything, but I know there was one of them that's like, it's just a cheerleader account. It's just a cheer account. And I'm like, I don't understand how that relates. I'm assuming, honestly have no idea, but I'm assuming they went through like a marketing agency or something like that. I do wish that Bonnaroo would instead of leaning so much into that they would use actual festival content creators and Bonnaroo content creators. And, there's so many. I mean, there's so many, not just on TikTok nowadays, but also on Instagram and even Facebook. There's Bonnaroo content creators on there. So I wish that they would use that a little bit more. I completely understand they're trying to get, an untapped audience and things like that. I mean, I get how it works from a marketing perspective. I just wish they would use their core fans a little bit more. To be transparent, we had an interview with the Bonnaroo marketing guy, Corey, a while back. And I actually asked him about user-generated content. And when I asked him that question, I was thinking specifically about the both of you. And he really loves the user-generated content, but I do wish that they would use that a little bit more in their marketing.
That's what I was going to say. Like, if Becky popped up on my For You page with a sponsored post, I'd be like, heck yeah. Like, that makes so much sense to me, Like, that's what I want to see.
It would be nice, see people in our own community, being sponsored. But right. I wonder if kind of the mindset is, well, they're already going to be making those videos. I don't need to pay them. Like, maybe exactly. That's what it is. Yeah.
Right. I think that's what it is. It's reaching that that audience that they've never reached before. So really, you guys are both a little bit younger than me. Um, do you think that Bonnaroo really markets well to your age demographic, or to, a younger audience, like a college age or, early 20s demographic? How about you, Becca?
That's hard for me to say because most of the content, I assume, at least on TikTok, is only Bonnaroo. So, but I will say that most of it does not come from Bonnaroo or sponsored Bonnaroo posts. It comes from people like Becky or other Bonnaroo content creators um, that aren't sponsored posts. And so I don't know the answer to that. I guess not to me. If the target audience is me, I'm not getting much actual Bonnaroo official page boosted on any of my social media. I usually have to go searching for it. Like I check personally the Bonnaroo page multiple times a week, I would say, to see if they posted updates and whatnot, but I don't usually organically get that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what about you, Becky?
I'm kind of the same. I don't, I already know that I'm going to be going to Bonnaroo. Like, I don't need any, targeted ads. So I'm wondering if, like, maybe that's why I don't get them. But I feel like with kind of like our age demographic, the real pull for Bonnaroo would be the lineup. I think that is what they use to get people to come to the festival. And so I think beyond that, I don't think they're really marketing the other aspects of the festival. I think, the reason that a lot of people love Bonnaroo is because of the community. And I feel like there could be really good ways to market that to people and show, this isn't just about the music, it's about the people that come here. And I don't think we're getting a ton of that. And I think that would be really helpful in, getting more people into the festival, is that, it's about us as a community is like the main piece of it.
Oh, yeah. Yes, absolutely. So if somebody wanted to start creating festival content or creating Bonnaroo content, Becky, what advice would you give them?
I would say just be genuine, like if Bonnaroo is what you love, then just talk about why you love it and, just be as genuine as possible, just be yourself. And that is what will make people want to listen to you because they actually, like what you're saying. Whereas I think that when you see videos that are very kind of like, scripted and like don't feel as real, it kind of doesn't feel like you're interacting with a real person on social media. You're just, that is, a bot or something. Even if it is a real person, it doesn't feel real. So I think that's the big advice is like, be yourself and like, make the content you want to make, and then you will find your people that way.
Becca, what advice would you give somebody who wants to get into festival content creation?
I could not agree more. I just say do it. Follow your heart, do it. I think another big piece of advice just for content creation, but could apply for any, specifically festival too, is you see so many people saying you need to post 3 to 5 times a day to gain a following. But I would say relieve that pressure. Just post when you want to post, when you feel inspired. Just do you and be genuine. And yeah.
I love that because I always, I've tried to look up when to post and, the 3 to 5 times a day or whatever.
Yeah, me too.
It'll burn you out so quick if you're trying to like just post, because also then your videos are like about nothing. Like you're just trying to like get videos out instead of like actually thinking about what you're posting. Yeah. Every time I see that, I'm like, please stop telling me to post that many times a day.
Like I'm doing it for the love of the information and the content and the niche that we're focusing on, right? Like not for the rest of the noise.
Yeah, exactly. So a question for both of you, really, how do you see festival culture really evolving over the next few years, over the next 5 to 10 years? What about you, Becca?
I think this is such an interesting question because I don't know. I have so many questions. Like, are we going to see more multi-genre festival or multi-genre or genre-specific festivals? Are we going to see a rise in more corporate festivals or more independently owned festivals? I could see an age demographic switch as things get more expensive in our real lives. I could see less young people attending music festivals in the future if that trend continues. I think it'll be really interesting to see. Of course, I go through my like spiral every few months. Like, are festivals dying? Or is this going to be my last chance to go to Bonnaroo? And so I'm really hoping that doesn't come true. But I think it'll be really interesting to see how things evolve in the next decade. for sure.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, of course. So, Becky, what about you?
I really think that we are going to see a rise in independent music festivals, artist-run music festivals, like community events. I think that like as a whole, specifically younger people are becoming more and more distrustful of big corporations and therefore, do not want to go to an event that is being run by a big corporation. And so I really think that it's going to become a lot more community-based. And since things are becoming more expensive, I think people are going to be traveling less, so they're going to be looking for, a music festival in their own community. So I think things are going to get a lot smaller, and I think things are going to get a lot more tight knit, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing. I think, there have been so many like new artist led festivals that I've heard like amazing, amazing things about. Me and Becca were talking about 7 Stars that I've heard like was the most amazing festival people ever went to. So I think it's going to become a lot like smaller in terms of music festivals. I don't necessarily think that the big ones are going to go anywhere, but I do think that we're going to see a rise in smaller events.
Oh, absolutely. I agree 100%. I mean, I'm lucky in that I only live about an hour and a half, maybe, well, about 2 hours, I guess, in the bus away from Bonnaroo. To be fully transparent, if I lived, 12, 15, 20 hours away, like some people do, like a lot of people do, I don't know that it would be an every year thing. So I think you're right on when you say people are looking for those community festivals, those local events, things like that. And it's getting so expensive, like you said, to travel. And, I think the economic demographics and things like that are definitely changing for that direction. So if someone is going to Bonnaroo for their very first time ever, what's like the number one piece of advice that you would give them? We'll start with you, Becca.
Such a good question. There's so many things. I guess the overall is listen to your body, your heart, your mind. It's going to be more than one sentence. But if you see something, say something. Take care of yourself, your friends, the strangers. I think Bonnaroo is Bonnaroo because of us. And so the goal is to be safe, be smart, spread love, radiate positivity, and just have a good time. And so that is what I would tell a new Rubian.
That's so perfect. Okay, Becky, what advice would you give someone going for their very first time? If you could only give them like one piece of advice, what would it be?
My big thing is you have to go with the flow. Like I said in that video, things are going to go wrong. Like this isn't going to be a perfect weekend. You're going to have an absolutely amazing time, but things are going to go wrong and you cannot let it crush your spirit. You just have to get over it and keep going. And I think also don't be afraid to go do things by yourself. If like, oh, your friends don't want to go see this one artist, like go by yourself. You will make other friends over there. Like don't feel pressured to do what everyone else wants to do. Do what you want to do. And that's, yeah.
I think that's great because, we run Totem and we give scholarships to people to come to Bonnaroo, to young people to come to Bonnaroo. And that's something that we're always looking for is someone that is going to go with the flow, someone that's, not going to get upset if things aren't 1000% perfect. So I think that's very, very, very good advice. So where can people find you online?
They can find me on TikTok at Beccaruvian. I do have an Instagram. I just started it, so there's not much, but also Beccaruvian. And that's me. That's really cool.
Okay, awesome. Well, Becky, where can people find you?
I am on TikTok at FestyBestyBecky. I also have an Instagram under that account, but literally nothing is posted to it yet. I really need to get on that. But yeah, I'm mainly on TikTok.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on and doing the interview with me. I've watched you guys' videos all the time, both of you, and I'm constantly trying to go in and repost and things like that to get the engagement up. So just not only thank you for coming on the show, but thank you for doing what you do every day, because I've literally seen comments where, oh, you helped me pack, or you helped me prepare so much, or you helped me with this, that, or the other. So you guys are both amazing.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
yes, of course.
Thanks so much for having us. And I want to thank you for what you guys do. Your Totem Foundation, is that correct? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Is incredible. I tell everyone about it. So thank you so much for what you do as well.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, tell people to apply.
I'm on it.
Thank you, Becky and Becca, for coming on to talk with Sharla. We really appreciate having you guys on. That was fun. I understand that's a bit of your wheelhouse, talking about some of the marketing aspects, right? That's something you're always interested in.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's what I do for a living. So
Yeah, you were picking Corey's brain about that about a month ago.
I was. And I mentioned that in the interview as well.
He is a Renaissance man. He is a great honky-tonk player, and he's a great marketer as well. But anyways, enough about that. So we have a couple of totem things that we want to talk with you about before we get to some of mine and Sharla's picks of the best of 2025. You had something first, or should I go first?
Yes, so it's only a few more days to get your 2025 totem donation in. And remember our 6 in 26 campaign to raise funds to send 6 young adults to Bonnaroo in 2026. So you only have a few more days to get in your donation for the year 2025. So obviously that's between you and your tax person, but if you're trying to claim that donation on your taxes, which we are a nonprofit or we are a 501c3 nonprofit,
There's a good chance you can claim it.
make sure to get your donation in.
Yeah. And those who have donated, either through the Give Butter thing or Patreon, look for an email from me and our finance person, JB, here in the next week or two, so you can go ahead and start collecting that paperwork, because every little bit helps if you know from the past doing your taxes, you know. Yes, I will just leave it at that. All right.
You sound like you're committing tax fraud.
No, that's Bigfoot. I'll tell you a quick story. So like JB was over here a couple weeks ago, and he got some stickers from this little Ren Fair thing. And one of them was like, Bigfoot is real, and I helped him commit tax fraud. And we put it on the door of Totem's tax guy. Totem's tax guy, Brad. I've been having a little too much of this. We put that sticker on his door for him to find.
Yeah, he thought it was hilarious.
I also want to give JB a shout out. So another quick story. On the Storytelling podcast, I was telling Sharla and some of our friends, I had like a really weird dream. It's starting to be like Bonnaroo dream season now that the lineup has been out.
Because I've been having them all the time.
Yeah. So my dream was that we were at camp at the Monkey Bar, and it was the first day that we were all together. So we had kind of like a get together, meet up, just talking about like, hey, here's what's happening. And in my dream, JB comes up to the mic. He was like, can everyone please stand for the national anthem? And I'm just going to play a clip. He sent me a video recreating this.
Everyone, please stand up for your national anthem.
Yes, thank you, JB. I appreciate that. That was actually J-Bone, not JB.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I had a Bonnaroo dream the other day.
Tell me about it.
Well, it was only slightly related to Bonnaroo, I guess. I remember I went down to Gulf Shores with a whole bunch of people. And people kept getting in trouble and all this crazy stuff kept happening. And long story short, somebody was like, oh, it's okay. It's fine. I already talked to Corey because he's a cop in Gulf Shores.
He's a cop?
In Gulf Shores. And he's going to talk to the judge for everybody.
I did say he's a Renaissance man.
I don't know.
That's weird, man. I don't picture him as a cop.
No, not at all.
He seems like the kind of guy that would warn you that a cop is coming. I'm going to put it that way. Oh, another dumb story I wanted to share. She gave me permission to talk about this. So, like, our good buddy Shayna, she's on Totem's board. She's been on the show a couple of times. She's co-hosted or guest hosted the show a couple of times. She had a rough week. She had a concussion walking out on the balcony and like slipping on ice or something like that. Y'all be careful, please. We want you to make it to Bonnaroo alive. Use Shayna as an example. Don't get yourself killed. She was kind of out of commission for a couple of days. I'm glad she's okay. But all right, we could go on with a whole full episode with friend stories. In fact, we have one coming. We're going to have Jums on before too long.
Ooh, the Jums World Tour.
The Jums World Tour episode is going to be coming right after New Year's. We did want to list our Patreons first before we jump into our best of lists. Here's the list, Sharla. Let's jump into it.
I did get to control it myself.
Yeah.
All right, we've got Jordan.
Keep going.
I'm sorry.
We got this.
Jordan, Alyssa, Imani, Bradley, Jared, Olivia, Claire, John, Lexi, Danny, Lisa, Butter Crew Nick, Delaney, John with Texas Root Crew, Brady, I Am Rave Dad, Courtney, Casey with Texas Root Crew, Christy, Jums, David and Aurora, String Bean, Sack and Jeremy, Amber, Andrea, JB, Sam, Austin, James, Hygiene Queen, Chris and Shy, Dan, Ernst, Harris, Keith, Casey, Perry, Nick, Maddie, Bruce, Andrew, Kent, Randy, Papa Josh,
He edited that.
Bosco, Eric and Ben, Evan, Chloe, and Sean.
Thank you, everyone. Now, as you know, sometimes I like to give a shout out to friends who are on that list. I have a very special shout out I want to give. Delaney and her boyfriend got engaged this past week.
They did,
So
yes.
many of you know her. She is part of the Calliope crew. She got engaged to her boyfriend, Jonah. I have met them both, spent good time with them both. I'm so happy for them. I'm sure she won't mind if I put an engagement photo in the video if you guys want to take a look. I'm so thrilled for them. That was the big news amongst our friends this
That was
past
cool,
week.
yeah.
So congrats, guys. We're so happy for you. That's amazing.
Definitely seen like 3 or 4 people I know have gotten engaged this week.
Well, wait, who else?
It's people I know. not
Oh,
people you
okay,
don't.
okay. No more Rue friends.
No.
But I'm taking a detour around the fact I just wanted to give them a shout out, but also Totem stuff. TotemFND.org or patreon.com/Rebus.
And remember Saturday,
Oh, yes. Saturday, the 27th, straight to L at the Speakeasy. We have our Totem Holiday Fundraiser Party. If you are anywhere near the Huntsville area, I hope you are going to be there. I'm not going to say I expect you to be there, but I really hope that you're going to be there. It's going to be from 7 to 11 that night. We have a couple of local DJs. We're going to have a bit of a trivia contest. We're going to have a bit of a costume contest. Brooklyn is renaming some of the cocktails for us for the night. I think we're going to name them after like Rue artists or inside jokes or something like that. A lot of fun. We're going to do a bit of the podcast there live. I think I can talk about this. I had talked about it being a mystery guest. Should I keep it a mystery or should I announce it?
I don't know because I don't know who it is.
Okay, well in that case, if it's a mystery to you, I'll leave it a mystery
I
to
have
everyone
no idea who you're
else.
talking about.
I'll tell you later. You know them. They're not on the show that often. I think they've only been on like 2, maybe 3 times over the past 5 years. That's all the hints you're going to get. I'll tell her after the show. But yes, Saturday the 27th, straight to L, Campus 805, the Speakeasy. If you don't know where that is, message me or Sharla and we'll let you know. We hope to see you there. It is going to be a fun one for like our big Huntsville party of the year. It is a big deal. Please be there.
Yes, absolutely. If you live anywhere near here, please, please, please come and support Totem. That helps young adults go to music festivals.
Yeah.
Because when I was young, I came from a very rural community, didn't even know about Bonnaroo, didn't know such a thing could exist in my lifetime. And we are helping young adults have that opportunity.
Yeah. So entry is a suggested $20 donation at the door for that holiday party, but you don't have to. It's kind of on the honor system. There'll be a QR code at the door when you come in. We hope to see you there. The most important thing is we want to hang out with you. So please come if you're in the area. All right. Now, last thing for this week, I want to go through our picks. Do you have yours on your phone? Mine are on my laptop
I
here.
do have mine.
So we do weekly picks every now and then. I thought we would do something a little bit different and just pick a couple of things that we thought were like the best of the year. I think let's go through the whole thing. So go through all of your list and then I'll go through all of my list.
Okay, I didn't make a very long list
I didn't either.
because I tried to think back about it and I was like, I can't remember what I watched in January or February or
Yeah, same.
listened to in January or February. But truthfully, I did pick a best show and it was actually a mini series, American Primeval,
Oh yeah, that was pretty good.
with Taylor Kitsch and Betty Gilpin. Absolutely loved this. It is true history. You know, it's a historical fiction and it's so good. I mean, it's kind of has like a little bit of an Oregon Trail vibe, except
Yes.
this is more historical, I guess, in that aspect. I'm not going to ruin it for you, but it was so good. It is kind of a little bit of gory in there.
A little bit.
I mean, gory stuff doesn't bother me, so I may say a little bit and
Bothers me a little bit.
but there is some gore element to it. But it's so good. It's so good. And I'm glad to see that Taylor Kitsch is finally being in a lot of stuff. So
Good job,
really cool.
Riggins.
Yeah.
What else?
Okay, for movies, I started to pick the same one that I think you picked,
What?
but I didn't pick that. I actually picked Weapons. I didn't
Go on.
see, or I didn't really see a lot of movies this year that I truly like fell in love with or that truly wowed me, but I really liked Weapons. It was really good.
I'll talk about that in a moment.
You're going to
What
talk
else?
about that in a moment?
Yeah, what else you got?
Okay. And then for artist, I actually didn't pick a song. I picked a couple of artists. So Goldie Boutlier, I'm so happy that I discovered her in 2025. Chloe was actually the first person that mentioned her to me, and just, oh my goodness, I listen to her all day, every day. Like, that's just my number one on Spotify. Also, there's an artist called Molly Grace that actually played Bonnaroo in 2024. So good. Please check her out. She's a little bit like Chapel Roan, but almost a little bit more, I'm going to say it, more fun. Like, her songs are just so fun. Like, if you can imagine that, yes.
BK Stoner has entered the chat. Our Discord friends will know what I'm talking about.
But she's just awesome. Go check her out. Molly Grace is her name. She actually went to school at Belmont and started singing and playing. So.
Good picks. Anything else? That's got it?
That's it.
All right. Yeah, I have a short list as well. One thing I did go into that you didn't have on your list is TV shows. I'll talk about that really quickly to start off.
That's the name of the show.
Oh, duh. American Prime Evil.
Well, it was a miniseries.
That felt like more like a movie.
It was
to
a
me.
miniseries.
Yeah.
It was technically a miniseries.
Well, technically a TV show. But I got 3. I think Andor season 2 was this year. It felt like it was this year. Time has no meaning anymore. Obviously, I like Star Wars stuff, but Andor was like prestige Star Wars, like pretty much the only part of Star Wars that ever has been prestige. And it was very timely because it's talking about what happens when you have a tyrannical government, which kind of talked about relative things right now. Anyway, I won't get into that. I also really enjoyed Alien Earth. I know a lot of people didn't, but I really like those kind of like thinky sci-fi vibes. That was really cool. And also, most recently, Pluribus. I think it might be my show of the year. I love the concept. I talked about that a couple of weeks ago. The season finale is here in a couple of days. I'm very excited about that. All right, movies, Weapons, I also really enjoyed. I have talked about on the show that I am not really a horror guy. I just don't really vibe with it, but this one I did. It like had like a tight plot, great performances, like a great mystery story. It was also a little bit more sci-fi than horror, I kind of felt like.
I didn't think it was horror, but then again, horror to me is like...
suspense, maybe.
No, when I think of horror, I think of like Saw and Saw 4 and whatever.
Yeah, there was a little gory in it, but not
Nightmare
bad.
of the Living Dead, stuff like that. Like, that's horror. The Exorcist, horror.
Oh, that, yes. That one definitely is.
So Weapons didn't really feel like a horror movie at all. I mean, there is a little bit of scariness to it, but it's more suspenseful, like Daniel said. And what I really liked about it, like I said, suspenseful, so you're trying to figure it out the whole time. Like, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
is this?
Exactly. So I really enjoyed it for those reasons. The other one that I would give a shout out to is One Battle After Another with Leo DiCaprio.
I started to put that one. I started to put both
Sean
of them.
Penn. Yeah. I really loved that. I didn't really know what to expect going in. I thought it was going to be like just an action movie. I didn't realize it was going to be so thinky and so suspenseful. The car chase at the end is the most inventive car chase I believe I have ever seen.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go into details because I don't want to give anybody spoilers if you haven't seen it. But I think also Leo could be getting another Best Actor nomination and might win it because he was incredibly good at it.
The way you listed it on there,
Yeah.
I started to put mine just like that, Weapons and then One Battle After.
Okay, well, there's a reason I married you. We're on the same page. I also was on the same page with you about not necessarily picking like albums for like my music of the year. I was thinking of it in terms of like, okay, what was a new thing that I really got into and what was the best live performance that I saw this year?
That's a good one.
So new thing that I really got into, Magdalena Bay. I was gutted that we did not have them on the Bonnaroo 26 lineup. It felt like it was almost a sure thing. It made so much sense. So I guess that's why we didn't get them, and we'll probably get them in 27. That's just how Rue operates sometimes, it feels like. But when I listen to them, I don't feel like there's any other act like them out there. And I really got into them over the past 3 or 4 months, partially because I thought they were going to play Bonnaroo, and I was excited, but I'll see them one of these days. Check them out if you have it. I think they are the most kind of fresh act I have heard in a very long time. And also, I'm going to say Band of the Year. Not only did they put on the best performance I had seen all year, but I think this band is on fire. I think they are the next big thing. I think they are doing inventive things. I think they are bringing jam back to the youths in a big way. It is Goose. Goose is Band of the Year. I think, no question. Their performance at Halloween was the best I had seen all year. I have heard much from Evan and other friends about like other performances at festivals and Goosemas recently. I got to get Evan to talk with us about that before too long. It looked insane. But Goose is just operating on another level, just above and beyond what anybody else is doing with live performances right now. And I think that they are going to be upper tier. And I love that they are making Jam relevant and cool again to younger audiences. When I saw them at Halloween, it felt like a good third of the crowd at least was like under 25. And that is a big deal for people that age to be that hardcore into jam bands, which is why I think it was a big mistake for Bonnaroo to not have more jam this year. I had a little too much of that old fashioned. I'm being a little too honest right now. But anyway, band of the year, Goose, love them. I think even bigger things are ahead for them. And that's my list for my favorite
I have a
things.
runner-up for favorite show.
Yes.
All right, hear me out. Florida Man.
No.
Season 2 has just returned on HBO. If you liked season 1, you will love season 2 because it is like every episode is like 10 different celebrity guest stars.
It is
It
pretty
is so
good.
good. It's so good.
It's like
Go watch it.
unsolved mysteries on weed.
Something that I noticed in this season, and I don't remember last season enough to remember if they did this, but something I noticed that I'm really liking so far is they will tell like at the end what the person is doing now, like what good that they're doing in life. Like one guy, like I think it was the first episode, he had tried to steal a casino or something. Now he works with like water cleanup and he's does all this waterway cleanup and stuff in Florida, and that's like super important to him. So it tells stuff like that, and I think that's super cool.
I do appreciate that. It is a good show. It's ridiculous and funny, but I think you'll enjoy it. I have a runner-up too.
Yes.
I forgot this was this year. The King of the Hill revival.
Oh,
Yes. They brought it back, and not only was it like good again, it felt like the show never left. The animation is a little different, but the storytelling is like just as sharp and funny as it ever has been, and it's going to be back for another year or two as well.
so it was good.
Yeah.
There was one little plot point that I did not care for, but it was good. I mean, I'd still watch it. I'm
Yeah.
still going to watch it. I'm not going to not watch it.
Well, I'm very happy that it's back, but also even happier that it's like just as good as it always was. It's
Yeah.
not like some of these reboots where it just feels like a hollow shell
Right,
of the original.
Right, I agree.
Like some of the recent seasons of Futurama, it's like, man, I'm glad that it still exists, but this just isn't as good as it used to be.
Don't worry, it'll get canceled again.
It's been canceled like 8 times. It'll be
I know,
back
that's the whole
again.
point.
Yeah. But guys, I want to tell you Merry Christmas. We hope that we'll see many of you in person on the 27th here at Huntsville at Straight Ale. Please come out if you're anywhere near. If you're not that near, I think we still have some slots available if you want to crash. I don't think it's going to be that cold. You can
So,
crash in the bus.
Big, huge thanks to Becky and Becca.
Yes,
for coming
thank you,
on.
ladies. Thank you, ladies. We appreciate you guys coming on. So next week will be a bit of a quote-unquote live episode that we will record at our holiday totem party. And I think the week after that, we're going to finally hear from Jums about his world tour and hear some other fun stories. We're going to start out the year by going back to our roots and doing a real storytelling podcast. We're going to hear some stories about what's been going on with some of our friends. So that's what to look forward to. But we want to thank you guys for a fantastic 2025. We want to thank everybody that came to see the Totem booth in the one day or so that we did get at Bonnaroo. It'll be back next year. We want to thank all of our Patreons for your support. We want to thank you guys for watching the new video version that we're doing. What me and Sharla do with like the bus and Totem, the podcast, anything else that we throw ideas at, it isn't a Daniel and Sharla project. We try for all of these things to be community projects, whether it be Totem or giving the keys of the podcast over to somebody every once in a while, which we want to do more of. I hear Nick is going to be doing one before too long. I'm very much looking forward to that. Go Lions. And we just want to tell you thank you, seriously, because like it means a lot to us. The Bonnaroo community is like something that's huge in our lives, as you can tell. Like going to cool concerts in June every year is fun, but the cool part to us is like everybody being our best friends. Like whether it be like me going to a different town that I travel to and having somebody to hang out with, having those ladies help Charlotte with the podcast. I'm speaking too much. Do you want to say anything to that point?
I think you covered it, Daniel.
Well, seriously, we just want to thank you guys. It really means a lot to us to share this whole community with you. And we want to thank you for what has been a fantastic 25, even though we only got one day of Bonnaroo in technically.
Yeah.
We're gonna make up for it this coming year in
Yes, we
26.
will. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for always supporting Totem. You know, the Totem kids are well, I call them kids. They're adults.
Kids to us.
They are just so amazing, such wonderful young adults. I mean, they're the next generation of leaders out there. So definitely continue to support Totem.
Yes, thank you for helping us support them. Thank you, guys. We love you guys. We'll see you in person in Huntsville on the 27th. Get out there and radiate positivity. We'll see you next week here in Huntsville.
Bye.